What is up, Scrub fam? I am back. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of playtesting for Set 3. You'll see me on the Octagons, McFly 2015. I'm here to bring you my first Set 3 deck profile. And this is the first of many to come because I've been brewing a lot of decks, having a lot of fun testing this new format, been having a great time. Of course, like I said, I have been busy with life. Life is changing. Life is good. Can't say enough about it. Super excited about this set to release. There's a lot of things coming in the pipeline that will truly impact this format, this metagame. It's about to be blown wide open. I'm just really excited about it. The speed of the game feels good now. Best of 3 is definitely conceivable. The high impact turns of turns 4, 5, and 6 are now even more impactful, so to the point where you should be winning the games on those turns more often than not. And I'm really excited about the different strategies that this set presents to us. Before I get started, let me talk about my sponsor, Bearded Collectibles, Team Bearded on the hat. If you can't see it, I'm sorry, but Team Bearded Collectibles, Alec Pastrana, amazing shop owner. If you have not ordered your sealed Set 3 product, you should do it from the Beard. He's got great prices on all sealed product. You can buy your cases, your boxes, your starter decks, whatever you need to do to get yourself going. Now, let's talk about Pan. So, Pan is a really good leader. And the main reason why is because Pan is going to be able to allow you to draw cards from the front side. So it's just a way that you don't have to interact with the opponent if you don't want to. So if you don't want to attack, you don't have to be able to net a card for the turn. And she really just incentivizes you to play a lot of bodies that are going to be 15k and above, so she'll be able to get the effect of it. And then, of course, when she awakens, she untaps 2 energy, which at first people look at this as almost like a drawback, but it's really not. It's actually a really strong ability because a lot of the times I'll make a play, use her front side ability, draw a card, then I'll awaken, flip over, untap 2 energy, and then I'll be able to make another play that turn and then get the buff off the backside, the 5k and the draw card. So she ends up being just incredibly strong as a leader herself because she just generates card advantage as well as generates card parity. So you have a lot of ways to draw cards in this deck, which is one of the main reasons why I like the deck. I like the deck a lot because it's just a low curve, aggressive / mid-range deck. It has a really good mid-range, like mid-game, especially once you get to turn 4 and beyond, just because of the depth of threats that you can present on a given turn, whether if it's one big threat or if it's going to be 2 or 3 little threats. And the deck just has such strong reach because of its ability to draw the extra cards both on the front side and on the back side. So like I said, you'll be able to maintain parity a lot. I do like Pan's place in the metagame against things like Mecha Frieza. Main reason why is because if you've ever played against Mecha Frieza, they tend to start losing resources relatively fast when it comes to cards in hand, because as long as you can put pressure on them, you're able to force them to spend cards in order to stop themselves from taking damage, and that's what Pan's great at. I can put a 15k Quick Rush Trunks into play, make it a 20k, swing at them, and it's cost me nothing. I drew a card off of it, so basically my battle card replaced itself, and then now my opponent has to deal with it. So they're going to have to combo, they're going to spin a negate or something to be able to not have to take the damage. So Pan is great for that reason. So when we look over the deck itself, it's red-blue, but the blue is a light splash. I originally had the blue splash at 12, so I was running 4 Senzu Beans, 4 Jacos, and I was running 4 energy boosted Majin Buu instead of the Rushing Warrior Pans. But what I found on myself was a lot of times I was getting more than one blue source in hand at a time, and I really want to limit that. I really want this deck to be red heavy, so on turn 4 I can Windmill Slam a Chain Attack Trunks and just present a board state that's really hard for the opponent to come back from. So I opted to drop the Boos and put in the Rushing Warrior Pans, who almost virtually the same thing. You're getting a similar effect, but it's going to be better for this deck because you want to attack more, and it's just something where you can put it on the table and you can exchange it for a card later in the game, which I really like. So, which, I mean, Russian Warrior Pan's great anyway, but the only thing was I was just trying to determine was if I wanted 12 sources of blue or if I wanted less, and it turns out that 12 was just too many, so I wanted it and just drop the boost for Russian Warrior Pans, and that switches felt really good so far. So a lot of times on the play, you'll just drop your Russian Warrior Pan, if that's your turn 1 play, and then on the draw, normally it's Cabba, you know, and so you have that exchange there. Other than that, the curve pretty much follows Cabba into Quick Rush Trunks, into Ability Unleash Gohan, into Chain Attack Trunks, which then drop a Fearless Pan, Ability Unleash Gohan, or Quick Rush Trunks, and then you just get huge value off of that. A lot of the times my games end with me essentially using the combo cards. So Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and then something like Toppo to play on my opponent's turn, untapping on my turn, and then playing something like a Fearless Pan or a Chain Attack into Fearless Pan. And then that just creates a board state that the opponent can't deal with. And by this time, they've burned a lot of their resources, so the deck ends up being really strong. My sources of removal are Pride of Justice Toppo and Jiren Fist of Justice. Both these cards are amazing. Toppo especially, I was even more impressed, whenever I needed to go more so the mid-range route and start killing my opponent's threats, how just turning him sideways, forcing your opponent to combo or he untaps just generates such card advantage for me. So Toppo has been really strong in the deck so far. Ability Unleash Ultimate Gohan, of course. The card's incredible. Draws you a card when attacking or it can be double strike. The real determining factor of if this deck does really well in a lot of my games, it's honestly if I can hit Quick Rush Trunks on 2. If I hit Quick Rush Trunks on 2, most of the time I'm winning that game because the crit and then me drawing the card makes it basically turning it into a cantrip with Pan's ability on the front side is just such value for me because it's just going to be a +1 for me, -1 for them, and then I get to go from there. So the deck itself is just, like I said, really low curve aggressive deck. When we look at my defensive cards, I run 4 Senzu Beans, 4 Unending Awakening, 4 Giru, my 10k boost, and then 4 Jaco. So one thing you're going to notice in this format is you're going to want to be pretty light on extra cards unless you have a leader that can abuse them, so like Mecha Frieza, because with the like how fast decks are going to be going and what powerful things they're doing on turns 4, 5, and 6, you can't really afford to have too many extras, because if those get clogged in hand, you're going to find yourself just on the losing side of a lot of matches because you won't be able to combo and preserve your life total, because life goes by pretty fast in these games because you have a lot of leaders now that can generate card advantage on their front side when they're attacking, or even if it's something like Pan that incentivizes you for attacking with your bigger creatures. So you really want to limit the amount of extra cards you have in your deck unless you can, maximize off of them. So anywhere between a lot of my lists have been playing anywhere between 7 to 12, 12 on the high side. The only time I get higher than that is if I'm playing Mecha Frieza. But in this list, I play 8. Senzu Bean, it's great because it just allows you that access to be able to untap mana. A lot of times I use this aggressively if I need to make an extra play, but of course it's always great defensively, especially when you combine it with an Unending Awakening. It's going to negate the attack, and your leader gets plus 5k for the turn, so it's a negate plus a bean for the turn. So if you can ever Unending Awakening and then Senzu Bean, your leader is now 25k. There's nothing they can do to get through you unless they spend a large amount of cards, so you just get away with that. Handy Giru, I do this instead of Divine Aid Vados for flavor purposes. Giru is from GT, and Giru is best, so you run Giru as opposed to Vados. And then Jaco. This card just gets better as we continue to move forward. It's just pushing things back to your opponent's hand is the easy way to stay alive, so it's almost like a 5k boost with no drawback to it, and it's just a really good blue source of energy, so that's why I play it. So I run 8 blue sources, and then 4 double shot Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So 4 of those and the 3 of the Toppos are just a huge boon with Pan because of the amount of times you're just going to be able to drop them into play and then trigger her ability and then draw a card. So that ends up being incredibly strong for you, especially when you can come back on your turn and then make your big play, like I said, with Chain Attack Trunks into something else. So deck is really simple, straightforward. This is something that you can sleeve up as soon as the set drops. This is something that you can play on Octagon, and you're going to be able to get wins with it relatively fast. So the deck isn't, it's pretty straightforward, but at the same time it's not, because you really have to look at your turns as how to maximize the amount of energy that you have and be able to get the most plays and most effective plays out of each turn. And so what I recommend doing is just thinking that way. Whenever you're playing this deck, just think about how many attackers can I present, and how can I build a board state the fastest. So that's what I tend to usually do. So if I'm on the play, it's turn 1 Rushing Warrior, then it's Quick Rush Trunks if I'm on the play. If I'm on the draw, I'll play the Cabba and then Quick Rush Trunks on turn 2. But a lot of times I'm saving Cabba, especially the second, third, and fourth copy, for later parts of the game. So what you can do is get to the board state of, now let's say I have 4 energy open. I can play, Quick Rush Trunks into Cabba, or I can play an ability Unleash Ultimate Gohan into a Cabba, combined with my current board state that I already have, which a lot of the times is a couple of the double shot Vegetas. It's some attackers that were left over from the last turn because the opponent can't deal with them all, and then you just present a board that your opponent can't deal with. If you guys haven't playtested much with Chain Attack Trunks, I highly recommend doing so. This card is absolutely bonkers. It just, even though you're just putting, like I said, I run 12, 16 cards in the deck if you include the Saiyan Cabbas that can come down with Chain Attack Trunks, and the card is just, actually I run 20. 20 cards because of the double shot Vegetas, but the card is just gross. Just the value, like the time you do chain attack with Fearless Pan is just a board state that most people just can't come back from, and that turn is just huge for you because now everyone on your board has double strike. So this deck kind of really revolves around chain attack being the top of your curve, and a lot of times this deck is going to be really fun for you to play because of how active you get to be on all the turns that you have. Another thing that's really cool is about chain attack Trunks is the fact that he can attack battle cards in active mode. So a lot of people forget this ability. So anytime that I need to switch to mid-range mode, I can just start playing these threats that can attack battle cards with no issues and then get bonuses off of them. And then it just really causes a lot of pressure for my opponent because then now they have to figure out how to answer my threats and how to start building their own board. And so once they're in that situation, a lot of the time they can't deal with it. So this is my quick take on Red Blue Pan. I do think that Pan is one of the decks and leaders to come out of the set that's going to have a huge impact on the metagame because of the type of aggressive deck that you get to play with her. And the fact that you get to generate so much card advantage from both of her abilities. And like I said, I really like the Awaken on tap too. It just does what this deck wants to do. You want to use almost all your mana on all of your turns, aside from the one blue that you have up. And again, that's why we're only playing 8 sources of blue, is because we just need one. We just need one blue energy, and the rest can all be red and we're fine. A lot of the times I stop charging at 5 energy, so then that way I can play a 4-drop threat, leave a blue up, and then we're good to go to defend myself. I mean, unless I have an Unending Awakening in hand. But yeah, so the deck is really straightforward. The deck is really fun to play. She's a really good leader. The next deck profile I'm going to be doing a Majin Buu deck profile with the Majin Buu leader. This is mostly for fun. There's a lot of flavor in the deck. I think the deck is really cool. It can have some really strong draws where you can just get out way ahead of the opponent. But of course, the deck is fairly inconsistent because of the things that you're relying on, but the Most Evil Absorption in history is a really sweet card, so I'm really excited to share that deck profile with you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, for viewing my content, for giving me all the likes, the thumbs up, the subscriptions. I truly appreciate it. You know, I wouldn't do this stuff if it wasn't for the community, and this game truly has a great community. So those people that are randomly posting about the Dragon Ball Super community being bad, you guys are crazy. The community is amazing. You're always going to have people that troll each other, people that make fun of people. Like, that's just the internet, dude. So you need to get over it. And Anthony Hernandez, you're bad. I'm sorry. But you're bad, man. And that's cool, because I'm bad too. But I'm going to help everyone get good and help you get good. We're all going to get good. But anyway, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Hope this is something that you wanted. Hopefully that you guys can enjoy this list and you can get what you want out of it. Thank you so much again for everything you do for me. Thank you for watching this deck profile. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but this deck is really cool. Deck is really good. Hopefully I'll be doing some gameplay videos on Octagon soon to follow this up. That is my dog. He just walked past me. That's Anakin. Anyways, thank you guys so much. You have a wonderful Friday because this video is going up. Okay, bye!